This tutorial is for using the arithmetic operators, but in this case I'm going to be using the options or radio buttons as it's called. So let me start by inserting my text up there. So that's using arithmetic operators. Okay, let me just try and get this one centered, or you can always use these tools to get it centered. I'll tell you that. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do is this is just going to be my information panel. So let me just call that a layer. We've called that layer info. So let's insert another. I'll lock up this layer, insert another layer. This layer, I'll call it radio buttons so that I don't get it mixed up. So I'm going to be inserting 4 different radio buttons right here. Okay, if you can find it somewhere here, you can always go to Windows, come to Components, okay, and it's right there. That's it right there. So if, let's say I collapse this, I can always pick on this and get my component panels here. So I have the radio buttons there. So all I'm just going to do is drag one of them on board. As soon as it's dragged on board, what happened is it's actually registered inside my library right here. Can you guys see it? It's there. And this is the one I've actually imported on board. So just click and add, drag 2 more. Yep. 1 more to make it 4. Let me go to the property right here. So I've selected this in here, and you see the property, the group name for all these radio buttons you guys have there is known as radio button group. You see it right there. And this my label. Look at my label right there. Can you guys see? That's the name of that label written there. So I can change that right away. Let me just change it right away to addition. Okay, look at it. It's pop up there. Come back to the other one. Look at the name. It's still part of the group. You can always change the group name if you want. So I'm going to call that division. Then followed by fraction. Okay. Now I've defined the name of all my buttons and labels. The name for all the labels, I have them in there. So let me also insert what a button, okay, or what you call a command button. So I'm going to lock up this and insert a button right here. Go back to my component, and that's my button there. Grab the button, drop it on board. Yeah, that's my button. So I will then go to the property of that button. I can change the name to maybe submit, or let's just say add, or maybe sub. Let's call it submit. Yeah, that's the name of my button right there, submit. Okay, so each of these components, I will then give them an instant name. If I select, let me select the first radio button, change the property to add _MC. The second one will be dev underscore MC, followed by more underscore MC. And the next one, the last, is sub underscore MC. Okay, that's all that done now. Okay, to prevent any error, I'll just lock those ones up. Then the next thing I want to do now is create another layer. This layer will be my input and output layer. Input dash output. Okay, so get my text box. I'm gonna need like two. Yeah, let's just give that a name. Change that to too big. So let me just reduce the font size to about maybe 12 or 24. Okay, 24 looks a little bit alright. Okay, let's just alright. Let's take it here. Yeah, that's cool. And enter a number. And just hold on to the control and copy and paste. Enter. Just change that to enter second number. Enter second number. Might as well change this to enter first number. Right. Okay, enter first number, enter second number. Okay. So this is just my label, so I really won't be doing anything much with them. They're just an indicator of what you have to do. Okay. The important bit is are the option buttons and this very button right here. So these two labels, let me just move them aside, and the important ones would be this other text box that I'm going to be creating now. See this very text box? I will call that text box, the property for that would be dynamic. If I call it dynamic, you should be able to let's see. So I'll call that dynamic. So let me just call the instant name as show text. Okay, I have the instant name as show text, and let me set the font to use default font right here. I've also left the I will also leave the size, the font size, as 24. Okay, so that's my dynamic text. So let me just move that here. That's where the result will show. Maybe I should copy one of these. Let's copy one of these and just put it here. That will be, let me change the name of this to show results. Okay, that's show results. So that's my dynamic text. So I now need text, more text box for my, this will be my input text box. So let me call that maybe time 1 let's call it a meaningful name. Input 1, or maybe text. Oh, no, number number input 1. So we have number input 1 underscore MC. That's the name of this text box right here. So let me show this border. Make sure the border shows. Have the border showing right there. That's good. Create another one. Maybe just reduce the size of this. Create another one. Now the screen is looking busy. I hope you guys are following. Create another one. Let it be input. And the name will be input number input 2 underscore MC. So set the header as 24, it's using the default. Okay, maybe I should let's leave it right there. That's fine. Okay, now I have my now let me change the show border. That's fine. So let's show the border of this as well. Good. All of them are showing border now, so that's fine. Okay, the last bit is going to be, let's just lock up all of this, open up the information layer here, and just one text box. Enter just one text right here. Set that as dynamic and just change the name to display, just to display information. Okay, let's press enter. Let us use the default font as well. Well, for input number input 1, make sure that's dynamic. Let's change that to input. Change it to input. Yeah, that's fine. So the font is set, and the behavior is just singular. We'll come back to the second one, which is my show text. That's dynamic. I intend to use this to show the different operators. Okay, and the font is using the default font. I will get rid of this show border because I just wanted to show the different operators that I selected. I can make it small, and then just select center for the text. Okay, then the number input 2, that's an input. That's the font size, style, the font style, size, and the default font. I've actually shown the border here, and the behavior is single. Okay, now this one, I've changed this name, the name of this, to result 1. That means that I want the button to just carry out the calculation, so I changed the behavior to added. And you see it, added. This is now added, and This one that will show the results is called results. Okay, let me move it down a bit. So that's the layout for my component so far. So the next thing that I'm going to be doing is the important bit, which is the coding. So I will now create a new layer up there. This new layer, I will call that very layer actions. Actions. Right click on my actions, select actions. So to start with, I'm going to have to import fl.controls dot my radio buttons, which is right there. I might as well just double click radio button group. Okay, semicolon. Then let me import flash dot events, and the events I intend to use with the mouse events right there. Okay, and the next thing is to let's declare a variable for these radio buttons. So it's going to be radio button, or I'm just going to call it radio members, or member column, radio button, radio button, radio button group. Okay, then I should give me new radio button group. Okay, I intend to use it for, let's just say, math functions. Okay, enter your semicolon there. Yeah. So the next thing I'm going to do now is for the button that I created. This is actually add_MC is one of the radio button. I'm going to say dot group equals, which group do you belong to? Belongs to radio member. Paste, semicolon. I might as well just copy and change the rest over as well to speed up, just to speed up coding. Okay, divide. I have sub, and followed by mod. Good. That's all that done now. So now let's start the function. Let me create some function. Math function. And let me just call it mathematical underscore calculate. You can call yours whatever name you feel like, or calculator. Okay, and I just say the event I intend to use is mouse sorry about that. I intend to use the mouse event. So I'll avoid that because I don't want it to return anything. Alright, and you get your press enter, enter your curly braces there. So let me just define my error handlers right now. So let's say error handlers, okay, just in case there's error. All right, so the first thing will be if radio member dot select dot selection equals no value, right? Display, let me check, let me be sure of this, just check the name of my display. That's the display, it's called display. Very good. Let's go back there. Let's say display dot text, display dot text, okay, display this following message. Select, let's say select and operator and enter numeric value. In text box. Well, that's enough information for end user, and just say return. Return and a semicolon. Okay, well, what I've just done in here is if the end user actually do not select any of these, okay, the system should just display the following message and return nothing. Okay, the next thing is I've actually left out my curly bracket. So the next thing I'm going to do is actually define another error handler. So the next one is for the number input. So if number input, okay, if number input 1 underscore MC dot text equals, okay, equals known, right? So close the bracket and open up the bracket, then let's copy my output here. Okay, so in this case I just want the display to say enter a numeric value in text box, all right, and return nothing. Let's clear it out. You repeat exactly the same thing for number input 2. So I've copied that, just paste that there. That is for number input 2. Let's change number input 1 to number input 2. Okay, so that's all for my error handler. I'm just gonna end the error handler right here. End error handlers. Okay, so I have defined my 1, 2, 3 error handler right there. I think it would be a very good idea for me to try out this program first. Let me check out the name of my button right here. That's the button. is called added underscore MC. So let me go back to my ActionScript. Let's try it out to be sure that it works. So let's say added underscore MC dot add events listener. Yep, add event listener. The event should be mouse events. And what type of event in this case? Let it be the click event. Okay, click. Right now, comma, math, mathematical underscore calculator. Let me just copy all of that. Yeah, just paste it right there. Close the bracket, add semicolon. Check it out. No error. So let me just run my program. Go to control, testing. Yeah. Oh, it works. That's good. All right. So let's just close this for now and try to complete the rest program. And just close that. Go back to timeline, right click, actions. What I'll do now is enter if statement to complete my program. If radio member dot select radio member dot selection. Okay, if radio member, let's copy and paste. Yeah, the selection equals addition, close the bracket, into my curly bracket. For addition, then let's declare a variable. I'll call this adds number, and then that's my variable equals number. The text name is, the text box is called change that to number input 1. Okay, close the bracket, plus number input 2, bracket close, enter semicolon. Then the result, I like the result 1 dot text equals, now let's convert that to string dot adds, close the bracket. Now let my display dot text equals, just clear it, no. All right, so that is for the first part. That's the first part of the program. So I can just copy all of these and change it. Copy one. Now change this to division. Make sure you get your spelling right. Let's say if I spell it right, yeah. Oh no, there's double, there's an I here, division, else there will be an error. I enter the division sign. Now come to subtraction. either subtraction or multiplication. Multiplication. Enter the multiplication sign and paste the other one, which is for the subtraction. Subtraction, right, and enter the subtraction sign. So let's just check our program. That doesn't seem to, that seems like there's no error, but the spelling error here. Let me just correct that. That's supposed to be text. Text. Okay. Check the syntax again. That's fine. Let's run the program and see what we've done so far. Seems to be error. That's it out one more time, and I believe this time I've got it right. Just waiting. Yeah. Now the system is on. That's brilliant. So let's see. 22. 3. Add that up. 25. Let's divide. Yeah. Multiply. That's cool. And subtract. It's working the way I want. But here, I want the different operator that is used. I want it to appear right here. So I'm going to have to write another program for that. Okay. Thanks for being patient. So it's looking good now, guys. So